he taught me how to he taught me how to count and add by playing blackjack with me until he took every last nickel I had. And the two of them were my grandparents. My mother's mother died in childbirth with her, and her father died a little while, well, some years after that. I never really met him. I only met him once. And so they were my grandparents. Now, Henry Higgins died, poor guy. He died waiting on the Red Sox. He's a Boston Red Sox fan, and every year the Red Sox would be close to first place, and every year I would say, maybe this is the year, and he would start swearing, this is never going to be the year. And I never forget, it was the last, coming in towards the end of the summer, he was there with his oxygen thing on, and he had all the nurses around. It was in the house. He wasn't at the hospital, and he's just looking at the Red Sox, and he was just so upset. And then he passed away, and it was a life celebrated. It was the big Irish wake where everyone is yelling and laughing and telling stories and remembering what he did. And Rose, this is a story that came out a year later, because a year after his death, Rose had married Bill Nason. Bill Nason was a Protestant. Bill Nason was Rose's high school sweetheart. Bill and Rose were going to get married, but their families could not reconcile in Boston in the year what would that have been, 1930, I guess, that a Catholic would marry a Protestant. So Bill went and married a wonderful Protestant woman. Rose went and married a wonderful Catholic man. And then Bill's wife died around the same time that Rose's wife died, and the two got married. And Bill would go to the Catholic Church and take communion. He says, I don't care, I'm protesting everything. And he would eat the communion. And that would upset Rose so much. But the two of them had this 5-year love affair. It was amazing. And they would go down to Florida. Bill was a golfer, and she was a tennis player. And they would come back to Cohasset for the summer, and they'd go back down to Florida. And then Bill passed away, and Rose got very sad. And it was about 4 years ago. Now she was 80 years old then. And she began to get scared. She didn't like to be alone, and she started to spend time. She'd spend 2 nights with my mom, 2 nights with Joan, 2 nights with Tom, and then 1 night with a nurse that would come and spend the night with her. And then it was hard on the uncles and aunts, and so the time with the nurse got a little bit longer, and the time with the uncles and aunts got a little bit smaller, and then she had a nurse move in with her and live with her for a long time. Now, Rose has the beginnings of dementia. Now, I don't know this, because every time I talk to her, it's a perfect conversation, and we talk about memories, and we talk about Grampy, and we talk about her old family, but my mom and all the uncles and aunts say that no, she forgets things. She forgets to take her medicine. She forgets to take a shower. She forgets to go to the dentist. And so they're worried about her, and this has been something that's been on the family's mind. And a recent development, and this has just happened, I'm just hearing this, so I'm just thinking about this now in the last couple weeks. The nurse that has been taking care of Rose thinks that Rose has got a lot of money because Bill, her husband, was a banker. And the nurse has begun to have Rose write her checks and has begun to have her sell things in the house for the thing. And the nurse has been a very dubious woman. The thing that really scared my family about this nurse, this woman, was that whenever the family would go to pick her up for a big Thanksgiving celebration or Easter celebration or Christmas, the nurse would say, oh no, Rose doesn't want to go. Isn't that right, Rose? And she would look confused and she'd say, I don't know. I've always gone for the last 70 years. Maybe I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And she wouldn't go. So she missed last Thanksgiving and she missed last Christmas. And this is Rose, the center of our family now. And so Easter, Saturday, my mother went over to Rose's house, so this is just last week. And she said to the nurse, she said, I'm taking Rose to Easter because she has not missed it and she's not going to miss it this time. Rose, don't you want to go to Joan's house for Easter? And Rose said, I think I do. Mom said, great. She grabbed Rose and was walking out the door. And my mom said that the nurse hauled off and nailed my mom in the head. And she went down. And the message I got on Saturday, a week ago, today, my mom said, I went to get Rose. I just asked her if she wanted to go. She said, yeah. The woman cracked me in the head. I had to go to the hospital, but I'm so grateful. And my mom didn't see the humor in that. And what she meant, and I understood what she meant, now they had physical evidence that they could take her from the nurse and put her back with the family. So that's what she said. But all I heard was my mom had to go to the hospital from getting hit in the jaw from this woman. And I called her. I said, Ma, this is what I heard you say, exactly what I just told you. And she said, oh, yeah, that is kind of funny, isn't it? And we had this big laugh. And she said, Joan is so happy, and Rose is so happy at the house. Now, turns out the nurse has, they both have gone running to the police department to file complaints. So my mom for getting hit, what did she call it? Cold clocked. I got cold clocked. Got a big bruise. And the other woman filed a report, said that my mom went in there, pushed her, kicked her dog, started swearing, and kidnapped Rose. Now my Uncle Tom says, I don't know, she might have nudged the dog. She might have shoved the nurse. She might have started swearing. She might have taken Rose a little bit against her will, but we got Rose now and we don't care. So my mom called me yesterday and she said, honey, Joan is happy, Tom is happy, I'm happy, Rose seems happy. I hope I don't go to jail for kidnapping her. And I said, I hope you don't either, Ma. She goes, do you think I'm going to go to jail for kidnapping her? And the thing about my mom is that that's a serious question. She's really worried that she's going to go to jail for kidnapping. And the thing I know about my mom, as ridiculous as that sounds to me, it just might be true. I hope that if I come back in a couple years here, that my mom is not in jail for kidnapping. But I'm pretty sure she won't be. But I'm thrilled that Rose is back with her family, back with my family. And that's a very new story about my grandma.